What is going on, YouTube? I am back today with another article analysis. Today's article explores job burnout through a behavioral lens, contrasting it with traditional mentalistic approaches. The article is published to the Journal of Organizational Behavior Management, also known as OBM. The article proposes that burnout can be further understood by examining environmental triggers, behavioral responses, and their consequences explicitly in organizational settings. The authors discuss how OBM principles and tools can be applied to assess and intervene on burnout, emphasizing the identification of observable behaviors and functionally related workplace factors. The paper is written by the authors listed on the screen and reviews existing burnout literature and assessment methods, highlighting their limitations from a behavioral standpoint, and suggests future research directions for OBM in developing behavior-based assessment and intervention strategies to proactively address employee well-being and reduce burnout. If you do not know me already, I am Troy. But now that we got that out of the way, cue the intro.
The article, Conceptualizing Job Burnout Through a Behavioral Lens. Implications for Organizational Behavior Management proposes a behavioral reinterpretation of job burnout, arguing that traditional mentalistic frameworks have limitations in guiding effective interventions. The authors suggest that Organizational Behavior Management, or OBM, offers unique insights into understanding, assessing, and addressing burnout by focusing on observable behaviors and environmental factors. Starting with the prevalence of burnout, as the article highlights that provider burnout is a significant concern across the workforce, with particularly high rates among healthcare and human service professionals, including behavioral providers serving autistic and neurodivergent individuals. Estimates suggest that moderate to high burnout may be present in 72 to 87% of behavioral service providers, although variability exists across studies due to inconsistent measurement approaches. The ubiquity of burnout in ABA settings necessitates increased attention to this phenomenon. Next, there are limitations to traditional approaches.
Before we go any further, a quick word from today's sponsor. Do you love behavioral science like me? Because if you do, my sponsor, Behavior Memes and Life of a Behavior Analyst, has a whole website full of products you might enjoy. From coffee cups to merchandise, the Life of a Behavior Analyst sells it all. I highly recommend that you check out my new product on my storefront. I came up with an OBM related design that says, "Hey management, it's not about the money, it's about behavior." If you like the design, you can get it on a coffee mug, a hoodie, or a t-shirt, you name it. All you need to do is click on the link in the description and it will take you to my storefront. Again, click on the link in the description, do it right now. With that said, let's get back to the video, and thank you Life of a Behavior Analyst for the sponsor.
Burnout has been largely conceptualized through mentalistic frameworks, focusing on burnout as a psychological syndrome resulting from chronic workplace stress. The World Health Organization, or WHO, defines it by feelings of exhaustion, increased mental distance or cynicism, and reduced professional efficacy, recognizing it as an occupational phenomenon linked to work environment issues. However, the article argues that this approach, coupled with limited guidance on system and organization-level interventions, may contribute to the small and inconsistent effects of current burnout interventions. The lack of consensus in defining and measuring burnout is a significant limitation in the existing literature. Furthermore, the authors provide a behavioral view of burnout. They advocate for conceptualizing burnout through a behavioral lens, focusing on burnout-consistent behavior as a person's recurrent responses to work-related stressors that are maintained by desired or avoided consequences. This framework emphasizes the interplay of antecedent stimuli, or work-related stressors, the individual's behavior in response, and the associated consequences. Changes in behavior can indicate increased stress. Moreover, the authors present antecedents to burnout-consistent behavior. These behaviors are a function of an individual's characteristics and their environment, with work characteristics playing a critical role as antecedents or work-related stressors. Prominent work stressors include increased workload, poor supervision, difficult case assignments, lack of recognition or rewards, insufficient support, inequitable distribution of opportunities, and incongruity in values. Antecedents can be idiosyncratic, and their impact likely interacts with individual factors and the broader work environment. So, why should OBM practitioners care? Burnout has negative employee and organizational consequences and can hinder supervisors' ability to effectively manage performance using OBM strategies. Organizational factors are major contributors to burnout, and individual-level interventions often have limited success, highlighting the importance of the social and organizational environment. OBM practitioners are skilled in conducting in-depth analyses to identify problematic organizational factors and recommend solutions for a supportive work environment. An OBM approach allows for an objective examination of the work environment to identify risk factors and maintaining variables for burnout consistent behavior. The article suggests directions for future OBM research, such as creating assessment tools within a behavioral framework to identify burnout, consistent behavior, and functionally related stimuli. Research is needed to compare the effectiveness of interventions matched to the function of burnout. The article rightly highlights the limitations of relying solely on self-report measures of burnout, which primarily capture subjective experiences. While these measures can indicate the presence of burnout, they offer less direct guidance on what needs to change in the workplace. By advocating for the observation and measurement of burnout-consistent behaviors, OBM practitioners can gather more objective data that can directly inform the design and evaluation of interventions. The discussion on assessment methods provides practical guidance for OBM practitioners. The adaptation of familiar OBM tools like record reviews, interviews, direct observation, and behavioral systems analysis to the context of burnout demonstrates the applicability of behavioral principles to this complex issue. The emphasis on not just identifying the presence of burnout, but also understanding the functionally related stimuli is crucial for developing targeted interventions. The suggested directions for future OBM research, including the creation of behaviorally based assessment tools and the comparison of function-based interventions, are vital for advancing this field. In conclusion, this article offers a valuable contribution by reconceptualizing job burnout through a behavioral lens and highlighting the potential of OBM to provide effective solutions. By focusing on observable behaviors and environmental factors, OBM practitioners can move beyond treating the symptoms of burnout to addressing its root causes within the workplace, ultimately fostering healthier and more productive work environments.
My name is Troy, everyone. Thanks for watching. If you liked today's video, please smash the like button, subscribe to help the channel, and turn on notifications by hitting the bell so you never miss a video. Before I end today's video, I want to remind everyone that I am donating 10% of my 2025 YouTube earnings to Special Olympics Nevada.